my child. Hear me before this repair bill speaks louder than peace. I see the number on the estimate, the tightness in your chest, and the way your mind is already racing beyond today. This morning, I want to teach you something stronger than panic. Wisdom can take the next step without pretending the whole road is already solved. An unexpected car repair can feel bigger than metal, parts, and labor. It can feel like one more demand when there was already too little room in the budget. You may be thinking about how you will get to work, whether another bill will be late, what has to be postponed, or how many problems could follow if this one cannot be handled quickly. But listen carefully. The first thing you need is not a perfect answer to every financial question. You need enough steadiness to see what is actually in front of you. Fear tries to turn one repair into a forecast. It says, if this is happening, everything may start falling apart. It moves from the mechanic's estimate to next week's expenses, next month's obligations, and every old financial regret you can remember. Before you have made one decision, your mind has already spent energy fighting 10 imagined emergencies. I know that pressure. I know how quickly your body can respond. Your shoulders tighten. Your breathing becomes shallow. You may become impatient with someone you love because you are doing math in your head while they are talking. You may sit at work and look productive while part of your attention keeps returning to the cost. You may even feel embarrassed that something as ordinary as a car problem can shake you this deeply. Do not shame yourself for feeling pressure, but do not let pressure become your counselor. There may also be a quieter fear beneath the money. You may be afraid this problem proves something about you. Maybe you think a responsible adult should always have enough saved. Maybe you believe you should have seen this repair coming. Maybe past debt has made every surprise feel like evidence that you will never get ahead. I want to separate the problem from your identity. A repair bill is a real responsibility. It may require sacrifice, comparison, a second opinion, a payment plan, rearranging expenses, asking for help, or delaying something you wanted. But it is not a verdict on your worth. It does not tell you whether you are loved by me. It does not define your future. It does not make you a failure. This is where my words in Matthew 6 verse 34 matter in a very practical way. I taught, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I was not teaching people to ignore responsibility. I was teaching them not to multiply today's trouble by mentally carrying tomorrow before it arrives. In that same teaching, I spoke about food, clothing, daily needs, and the Father's care. I was speaking to people who understood uncertainty. I did not tell them that wise action was unnecessary. I told them that anxious obsession could not become their master. So bring this car repair into that truth. Today has a real question. What must be decided today? That is different from asking, how will I fix my entire financial life right now? Perhaps today's question is whether the car is safe to drive. Perhaps it is whether the repair is truly urgent. Perhaps it is whether you should request a written estimate, compare prices, call another shop, check your warranty, ask what can wait, or decide which bill needs priority. Those are concrete questions. Panic does not like concrete questions, because concrete questions bring you back from catastrophe into stewardship. You may still dislike the answer. The number may still be difficult. Wisdom does not mean the bill disappears. Peace does not mean the decision becomes easy. Faith does not mean you pretend the cost does not matter. Faith allows you to tell the truth about the problem without handing the problem authority over your mind. There is an important difference between concern and worry. Concern can say, this needs attention. Worry says, everything is about to collapse. Concern can gather information. Worry repeats the same fear without producing new clarity. Concern can make a phone call. Worry can rehearse disaster for 3 hours and leave you more exhausted than when you started. This morning, I am not asking you to feel nothing. I am teaching you how to carry one day. Here is the belief I want to challenge. If I cannot fix all of it now, I am failing. That belief may sound responsible, but it is often fear wearing the clothes of responsibility. You may think pressure will make you move faster. Sometimes, it only makes you rush. You accept the first estimate because you are scared. You put the whole amount on a credit card without checking options. You avoid opening another bill because your nervous system is already overloaded. Or you spend hours searching for a perfect solution that does not exist, while the simple next step remains undone. Wisdom is slower than panic, but it is not passive. Imagine two people receiving the same difficult repair estimate. One immediately assumes the worst, starts arguing at home, borrows money before asking questions, and spends the rest of the day fearing what might happen next. The other feels the same shock, but pauses long enough to ask, what is urgent? What is optional? What information do I need? What can I decide today? The second person is not less concerned. That person is simply refusing to let tomorrow's possibilities control today's choices. That is the kind of steadiness I want to grow in you. Now take one small practical step. Write down the next bill or decision that actually needs attention, just one. If the car repair is the most urgent issue, write the exact decision. Call the shop and ask which repairs are safety critical. Or, get 1 second estimate. Or, check what amount is due today and what can be scheduled later. Or, review the next 7 days of expenses before choosing how to pay. Do not write your entire financial history. Do not build a list of every debt, every fear, and every possible future expense, unless that is truly necessary for today's decision. For this moment, give your attention to what is actually yours to do. Then gather facts before making a fear-based move. Ask for clear pricing. Ask what parts and labor include. Ask whether the repair can safely be divided into stages. Check whether insurance, warranty coverage, roadside benefits, employer transportation options, public transit, ride-sharing with someone you trust, or another temporary arrangement applies. If debt or larger financial problems are involved, wise help from a qualified financial professional or nonprofit counselor can be part of faithful stewardship. Prayer and practical action are not enemies. You can pray before the phone call and still ask hard questions. You can trust my Father and still compare estimates. You can seek peace and still change the budget. You can ask for provision without inventing a miracle you have not been promised. Provision may come through ordinary means, careful choices, honest conversations, delayed purchases, help you were willing to ask for, a fair mechanic, a workable payment option, or simply the strength to face one decision without running from it. Do not despise ordinary wisdom because it does not feel dramatic. There is another reason I want you to slow down. Financial anxiety can make every choice feel morally loaded. If you spend, you feel guilty. If you delay, you feel irresponsible. If you ask for help, you feel ashamed. If you say no to something else, you feel deprived. But stewardship is not the same as self-punishment. You are allowed to make a thoughtful decision with incomplete information. You are allowed to say, I cannot solve the whole month this morning, but I can make the next wise call. You are allowed to revise a plan when new facts arrive. You are allowed to learn from past mistakes without using them as a weapon against yourself. Remember the central question: what belongs to today, not what might happen in 6 months. Not every possible repair your car may ever need. Not every fear attached to money since childhood. Today. And what belongs to today may be surprisingly small. One call, one estimate, one conversation, one canceled expense, one request for clarity, one prayer before you decide. This is how wisdom begins to quiet panic. Not by solving every future problem, but by bringing your attention back under truth. I want you to notice something else. When anxiety says, you must know how this ends before you can have peace, it sets a condition you cannot meet. You do not know everything that will happen. You never have. Peace built on total control will always be fragile. The peace I give you can exist before the full answer, because it rests in relationship, truth, and faithful action. You can be uncertain and still be steady. You can dislike the cost and still think clearly. You can feel disappointed and still refuse catastrophe. Let this morning be different. Do not let the repair bill decide the emotional temperature of your whole day. Bring it to me, then do the next wise thing. Now pray with me. My Father, I bring before you the weight this person is carrying this morning. You see the unexpected car repair, the financial pressure around it, and every thought that has tried to turn one problem into a picture of total collapse. I ask for steadiness where fear has been loud. Help this listener slow down enough to see what is real, what is urgent, and what can wait. Father, release them from shame that does not belong to them. If they have made financial mistakes, give them humility to learn without condemning themselves. If circumstances simply became expensive and difficult, keep them from treating hardship as a personal failure. Remind them that responsibility can be honest without becoming cruel. Give them wisdom for the practical decisions ahead. Help them ask clear questions, compare options, understand the estimate, and choose the next responsible step. If they need to change a budget, delay a purchase, ask for help, seek professional guidance, or make a difficult phone call, give them courage to do it without hiding. Protect them from rushed decisions made only to escape anxiety. Protect them also from avoidance that allows a manageable problem to become larger. Teach them the middle path of faithful stewardship, neither panic nor denial, neither fantasy nor despair. My Father, provide what is needed in the ways that are wise and good. I do not ask for a false promise that every bill will disappear or every repair will become easy. I ask for daily bread, clear judgment, trustworthy help, honest work, wise opportunities, and the strength to respond faithfully to what is actually in front of them. Where this repair has stirred deeper fear about debt, job security, family responsibilities, or the future, meet that fear with truth. Tomorrow has not been placed in their hands all at once. Today has. Help them refuse to borrow trouble from a day that has not arrived. Give peace to the body as well as the mind. Let tense shoulders loosen. Let breathing slow. Let the nervous system come out of emergency long enough for wisdom to return. Help them speak gently to the people around them, even while the numbers are difficult. If this person needs transportation, open their eyes to realistic temporary options. If they need counsel, lead them toward trustworthy people. If they need to admit that the current plan is not workable, give them honesty without humiliation. And when they look again at that repair estimate, help them see paper, numbers, parts, and decisions, not a prophecy about their life. I am with them in the phone call, the budget review, the conversation, the waiting, and the next step. Keep their heart anchored in what I taught. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Let that truth become practical, not abstract. This morning, I ask that they choose wisdom over panic. Not because they know exactly how everything will resolve, but because they can act faithfully with what they know now. Give them courage for one decision, clarity for one conversation, patience for one day. And when fear tries to race ahead again, bring them back to this question: what belongs to today? Let them answer it calmly. Let them do that part. Let them release the rest. Amen. If this message met you in the middle of financial pressure, comment with the next wise step you're taking today, and subscribe for more scripture-based Christian encouragement and prayer for everyday life.